Hola chicos y bienvenidos a nuestra clase de español. Today we're getting close to the very end of our trimester, and this is going to be the big culmination lesson, bringing together everything that we've learned so far in trimester 3. Las metas de la semana, the goals of the week, are for you to be able to say, I can answer questions about where I'm going, how I'm going to travel there, and where it's located on a map. Overall, you'll be able to have a longer conversation answering multiple different types of questions with a variety of different vocabulary. El horario es, the schedule is, primero vamos a repasar cómo contestar la pregunta ¿a dónde vas? For example, yo voy a la iglesia. I'm going to the church. Where are you going? ¿A dónde vas? Yo voy a la iglesia. Segundo, vamos a repasar cómo contestar a las preguntas como ¿cómo vas a viajar? How are you going to travel? For example, yo voy en carro. Tercero, vamos a repasar cómo contestar a la pregunta ¿dónde está la iglesia? Using prepositions. So we're going to review how to respond where is the, for example, where's the church? Using prepositions in our response. For example, la iglesia está enfrente del supermercado. The church is in front of the supermarket. Altogether, that's 3 different types of questions. Where are you going? How are you going to travel? And where is it? ¿A dónde vas? Yo voy a la iglesia. ¿Cómo vas a viajar? Yo voy en carro. ¿Dónde está la iglesia? La iglesia está enfrente del supermercado. Attached to this assignment, you're going to see trimester 3 notes in their entirety. As we've been going through, I've given you piece by piece of these notes. Now attached to this last lesson, you're going to see all of these notes put together. That means you have the question type and the sentence structure to respond to that question. You're also going to have the vocabulary, that is the Spanish to English dictionary of ways to travel, places, and prepositions of location. At the end, when I go over the assignment for the week, you just remember you have all of these notes together so that you can use them to answer the questions that I'm going to pose at the end. ¿Listos? Let's get started. So our first review is answering the question, where are you going? In Spanish, ¿a dónde vas? We're going to run through an example with these 2 characters. So the guy on the left is going to ask, ¿a dónde vas? Now, the guy on the right is going to respond to this question. Remember, we're using our vocabulary for locations, places, to answer this question. Where are you going? I'm going to the, and then insert one of these locations in Spanish. Using this thought bubble in the picture clue. Where's he going? How do you say that in Spanish? The art gallery. Look for the art gallery. Now let's check out our sentence structure to respond. I'm going, yo voy, to, a. In this case, the word for the is la because Galería de Arte is feminine. So, I'm going to the art gallery. Yo voy a la Galería de Arte. Now, keep in mind, not all of the places are going to be feminine. That means not all of the places are going to have the word la for the in front of it. The bakery is la panadería because panadería is feminine. The church is la iglesia because iglesia is feminine. But if you look at our vocab list, we have a ton of places that are masculine. So the word for the is el. Now, to respond to the question, ¿A dónde vas? Where are you going? You have to remember the contraction al. There's 2 contractions in Spanish. There's only 2, so you only have to get to know 2. First, whenever you see a and el next to each other, they form the contraction al. Yo voy al teatro. I'm going to the el theater. In this case, theater is masculine, so the word for the is el. Al is formed whenever you see a and el next to each other. Similarly to when we learned in our first lesson, whenever you see de and el next to each other, they form the contraction del. All right, so keep in mind, a and el, whenever they're next to each other, they form the contraction al. Let's look at our next example. First, the guy on the left is asking, where are you going? How do you say that in Spanish? ¿A dónde vas? He's going to the bank. Bank is masculine, so the word for the bank, el banco. Now, how do you say, I'm going to the bank? I'm going, yo voy a el banco. What's wrong here and needs to be fixed? A, el are next to each other here. They form the contraction al. ¿A dónde vas? Yo voy al banco. A few other examples and we'll go on to our next question. All right, again, how do you ask, where are you going? ¿A dónde vas? Would he respond with? Now remember, you can use your vocab list. Yo voy a la panadería. Yo voy a la iglesia. Or yo voy a la biblioteca. ¿A dónde vas? Yo voy a la iglesia. I'm going to the church. Otro ejemplo. The man on the left asks, ¿A dónde vas? Would the man on the right say, using the picture and the thought bubble as a hint? And remember, you have your vocab. Yo voy a la aeropuerto. Yo voy a el aeropuerto. Or yo voy al aeropuerto. La respuesta es yo voy al aeropuerto because airport, aeropuerto, is masculine. The word for the in that case is el. Yo voy a el aeropuerto is almost the right answer, but you have to form the contraction al. Yo voy al aeropuerto. Muy bien. Now we have our second question, our second part of 3. We went over the question, ¿Cómo vas a viajar? ¿Cómo vas a viajar? How are you going to travel? Remember, in your notes, you have this question and the response sentence structure to refer back to later. So this is from the beginning, this is from this section. Now, how would you say, I'm going by car? ¿Cómo vas a viajar? Yo voy en carro. How are you going to travel? I'm going by car. How about here? How would you respond using the picture as a clue? ¿Cómo vas a viajar? Yo voy en avión. Now our third question. We're asking and using the sentence structure, where is the blank? Remember to use your vocab list that has all the locations. You also have your vocab list giving all the prepositions. Let's ask where the supermarket is. ¿Dónde, where, is, está, the, el, supermarket, supermercado. ¿Dónde está el supermercado? Now you could describe where it's located on this map in a variety of ways. Let's look at 3. Let's first start off with, the supermarket is behind the church. El supermercado está detrás de la iglesia. Now it's also behind the bakery. How would you say the supermarket is behind the bakery? Remember, behind is detrás de. El supermercado está detrás de la panadería. The supermarket is behind the bakery. Last example. We're still going to describe where the supermarket is. We're still answering the question, ¿Dónde está el supermercado? Let's answer in relation to the airport. Looking at the map, it looks like it's far from the airport. El supermercado está. Far from, lejos de. The airport, el aeropuerto. El supermercado está lejos de el supermercado. But it doesn't quite say that. It says del. Remember, anytime you have de and el next to each other, they form that contraction, del. Now, let's look at this conversation between these two girls. We're going to go over all 3 of these questions and the 3 different types of responses. Number 1, she asks, where are you going to? Here, looks like she's going to the church. ¿A dónde vas? Yo voy a la iglesia. ¿Cómo vas a viajar? Yo voy en carro. ¿Dónde está la iglesia? La iglesia está a la derecha de la panadería. This is a long conversation, especially up until this point, putting together all the different things we've learned so far. Now, it's your turn, tu turno. You're going to answer his 3 questions using the map and the picture clues in these thought bubbles from him. Remember, he's asking, ¿A dónde vas? ¿Cómo vas a viajar? ¿Dónde está el museo? Use this map. Using the picture clues, answer the 3 questions using complete sentences in Spanish. Send these answers to me in a private message in the Google assignment. Now, attached to this assignment, I'm going to have this picture with the 3 questions, the picture clues for the response, and the map. But the map will be a little bit better or a little bit bigger so you can see it a little bit better. You're also going to have the notes from the entire trimester 3 so you know the sentence structure to respond to these 3 questions, as well as the vocabulary translations. All right, guys, That's a big step. You guys should be super proud of yourself for coming this far. I've gotten some awesome responses from you guys. You've done PowerPoint or you've done Google slide presentations describing different prepositions. You're ready for this next response. Now, you can always ask me any questions that you might have, but give it your best go, and we'll stop there. Es todo. Hasta luego. Adiós.